Otinilu watched. Atop the floating utopia, the clouds, a mighty dragon lay on her throne of marble, a lady of quality, a lady of grace. Otinilu watched ever so carefully at the world below. The lands below had just recovered from a worldwide disaster of coldness and darkness, judgment from another dragon deity. They were damned to spiral into the cold depths of space and left to die. Fortunately, they appeased the deity, and the world saw light once again. The majestic dragon of rain, wind, and storm even helped them, specifically a land called Terra, the land that fought to defend themselves and keep her brother's memory alive. With the assistance of her mercy, warmth finally returned to the planet, and Otinilu could finally enjoy basking in the light with her perfect steaming cup of tea once again. Ceylon, her favorite. One day, though, missiles came down onto her paradise, caught entirely off guard by those she had just saved from doom mere months ago. Several of her monuments were annihilated. Thousands of her people were killed. Even her daughter, the pride of her life, had fallen. Otinilu knew it was them. She knew exactly who did this. She had now twice been stabbed in the back by these cretins from down below. Why? There was no reason why, no possibility for mercy or talking. She's saved them all before. She'll take it back. Something snapped inside her that day. The once cold but still loving and regal dragon turned dark, vile, maybe even evil. The skies over Terra faded to black, the thickest clouds the world had ever seen forming above. More missiles came, but were repelled by a mighty downdraft that alone flattened a city, followed by explosions from their own missiles. Suddenly, a tornado as wide as a country descended from the clouds with winds that ripped faster than the speed of light. The continent below assembled its forces, but it was already too late. Otinilu was out for blood, every last drop. The vortex connected with the ground and blended the continent along with every structure and person on it. The screams of both guilty and innocent fell onto her ears, but she was deaf to them. She saw red. There wasn't any mercy in her judgment. Great skyscrapers were reduced to splinters, mountains were uprooted and used like wrecking balls, and anything else was wiped clean off the face of the earth, and then the earth came with it from nearly a mile below. The vortex did its work, but the storm dragon wasn't yet satisfied. She had always been wary of the mortals, even more so after the genocide of her siblings long ago. But now it's personal, and her promise to never again lose control was nowhere in sight. Her people from up above cowered in fear and barricaded themselves in their homes, petrified at their sweet, motherly guardian now swallowed in grief and hatred. She looked at them with wide, bloodshot eyes and tried to plead with them, but they wouldn't listen. Tears streamed down her face as she watched her work unfold. She had a good heart, but it was turned to stone after everything they had done. The tears ran red, crying blood that fell to the obliteration below. She now truly lost everything. Otinilu let out an ear-piercing cry that some say the whole rest of the world heard, and then struck the former land of Terra in its heart with a lightning bolt so big that the entire world saw the flash, and anyone who looked from a neighboring territory was blinded. The electricity burned so hot that what was left of the land, which wasn't much, was melted as the land was broken up even further and completely gone. In mere minutes, Otinilu had erased an entire continent off the face of the planet. The seas came in and melded the earth and carnage to form a thick layer of volcanic rock several 100 feet below the new sea level. Any evidence of Tara having existed was buried. Even when enraged, she hadn't allowed a single joule of electricity to harm even the simplest of sea life nearby. When all was said and done, Otinalo wept at the consequences. Her one and only daughter is gone, slain by the mortal she feared and even still saved. Her people scarred for life at their mistress, likely never to speak to her again, not even Cirrus, and millions upon millions of innocent lives taken, all because someone pressed a red button. To this day, nobody knows who did it or why. There's nothing, nobody left